Hi guys, today's HR expat related term is going to be housing compound. And this is a term that you're going to hear with HR, but then also just in general, probably at your company or with friends or family whenever you're talking about going overseas on an expatriate assignment. I feel like the term housing compound is really kind of a little bit more a catch-all for just where expats live. Sometimes it's a compound and sometimes it's just really a neighborhood. A lot of times, though, the housing compound will be gated. So I feel like that's a key factor. And normally that's done because the company really wants to keep their expats safe. They don't want them to be in any kind of danger, especially if you're in, certain countries. They want you to try and stay within that compound for as much of your day as possible. So the housing compounds that I experienced in Angola were only neighborhoods. There weren't stores in them or anything else. So it was really just a neighborhood with a lot of houses, probably around, it would depend on the size. So anything from 30 homes to 100 homes. And it was certainly gated. There were barbed wire fences all around. And then they would have a pool, a tennis court, maybe a recreation room, a gym, that type of thing. So it was really just a housing compound, and there wasn't anything else included other than just home related activities. But I am familiar in other areas or other countries that the housing compound can definitely include more than just houses and pools and gyms. And some companies, they even have their company office within the housing compound, or they have stores or places where you can fill up your car with gas and maybe a movie theater or a bowling alley. So they really don't want their expats to leave. So again, it'll just depend on where you're moving to and who your company is, whether or not your housing compound is just more of like a neighborhood, a gated community, or if it's a little bit more in depth and has more things like stores and office buildings included as well. But really, all of it is not intended to separate you from the rest of the people living in that country, or the locals, I like to say. I think the intention is really more just to ensure your safety. I know when I lived in housing compounds in Angola, I never felt like I was closed off from the city or from Angolans. We had a gate, but I mean, I ran outside the gate all the time. I went outside the gate every day, all day for everything I needed to do. So I never felt like it was a way to separate myself from the city. It was just an extra layer of safety that my company really wanted to have in place. All right, guys, that's everything I know on housing compounds. And I hope going into a little bit more depth kind of gave you a better idea of what to expect if you are going to be moving to one. And I'll see you next week with another HR expat related term. Bye, guys.